probably the same thing that you have seen grown in your own children's lives, your grandchildren's lives, your nieces and nephews' lives, and that's the presence of cell phones. They're everywhere now. And when you think of kids and cell phones, what do you think of? Texting, talking to their friends, online with Facebook, games, exactly. I was doing some research on cell phones, and I saw online through the Deseret News, somebody named Delta Foxtrot had posted, I don't have a problem with young kids having cell phones as long as they are instructed on the proper way and time to use them. Not during class, not for gaming, not for texting your friends, but for calling adults in case of an emergency or other situation. Call home, call mom or dad at work, call grandma or grandpa or guardian, or call 911. That's all they need. And I thought, really? Cell phones are so powerful now. How many of you wake up to your cell phone ringing or to the alarm on your cell phone? How many of you store notes in your cell phone? How many of you have your personal calendar in your cell phone? So why shouldn't we be teaching our students to use these same things to help them become better, stronger, more organized students? So I now consider cell phones to be aligned to student success. This presentation is not about texting, it's not about bullying through texting. If you do not want your child to text, take out the SIM card. Your cell phone has absolutely nothing to say without its SIM card on it. Everything else that I'm going to talk about can be done without a SIM card inside the phone. These were notes from last year. This is through the Kaiser Family Foundation. But as of last year, 31% of children grades 3 to 5 already had cell phones. 69% of 5th through 8th graders had them, and almost 90% of high schoolers had cell phones last year. I think part of the reason that so many kids have cell phones, of course they ask for cell phones for their birthdays, but I realized watching my families, there's a life cycle of cell phones. Mom and dad get a new Droid, and it's great, and it works for a while, and then they're like, I need to upgrade. So what do they do with it? They pass it down to the oldest child. Well, that oldest child says, oh, come on, I need a better phone. So they pass that one down to the 3rd grader. And now the 3rd grader has an amazing cell phone. I was working with a 3rd grader a couple of weeks ago, and I had my iPad because we were allowed to do something online, and I couldn't connect to his laptop. So we did some work on it, and all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, Ryan, I can't print your homework for you. You're not going to have anything to turn in. And he looked at me and said, no problem. I'll just take a picture of it with my cell phone and show my teacher. And that's what we did. He turned it in. Because why not? Clearly, he had done the work. A cell phone, and part of the reason that I believe in them so much is because they're with us all the time. Kids want them with them because, of course, they're social. But really, I could make a pile of all this equipment, and that cell phone would carry all of this equipment all of the time. So what I want to present is a way that a cell phone can help children with time management, with responsibility, and with academic skills. The calendar. Students really need to learn how to plan ahead, and I would say even young children. Parents approach me and say, oh, my 8th grader, he can't plan ahead at all. He's not prepared for anything. Well, couldn't we be teaching 3rd graders, hey, you got your phone with you anyhow. Where are we going tomorrow? We're going to the beach. Okay, what will you need at the beach? Let's get all these things together. Teach them to put their ideas and their plans inside of their cell phone in the calendars. They can look at it and go, what am I doing? These are the things that I need. Why should a parent have to be responsible for all that when a child has a tool in their hands that they can look at and accept some responsibility for getting those pieces that they need together? You can also use it for backwards planning. How long are we going to be at the beach? Oh, we're going to be there for 2 hours. Okay, what time then do we need to leave so we can still make it to your soccer game? Okay, and teach them to work backwards, because otherwise parents come to me and go, my high schooler doesn't know how to plan for anything. You know, all of a sudden these tests sneak up on him and he didn't realize it was coming. Well, why don't we start teaching them younger? Let's plan ahead. If you've got a test on Friday, but you've got soccer on Thursday and Wednesday, we need to start looking at Tuesday for these items. Another is responsibility. And one of them I think that students can use is if your child is always disorganized and needs to get materials together to go to a soccer game, why not take a picture of your child in his complete soccer gear and go, this picture of you is in your phone. You need to have all of these things with you before we leave to the soccer game. Again, put the responsibility back in the child's hands. Why should a parent always be the one who's nagging the child to put this together when the child has something with him all the time that can remind him how to do these things? Another thing that students can do, and if you remember, like I do, the cone of silence. Do you remember the cone of silence? And is it back here on the other way? Remember from Get Smart, they go into the cone of silence? Well, I think students can make a cone of silence. Have them take their phone, if it accepts music, and teach them to put music on it that is appropriate for reading. For me, I call it my writing and thinking music. Mozart's K448. That is the perfect thinking music. For some kids, it might be Jack Johnson. Maybe there's other light rock that they can read to, maybe not. Me, I can't read with any words. Students know what they can read to and what they can't. Teach them to put a 30-minute playlist on their phone, put their headsets on, and therefore they have a 30-minute cone of silence to study in. And when that 30 minutes is up, that means it's break time. Because part of being a good student is knowing how to work, take a break, and now come back to your work. Sometimes students will take a break and they're gone. So phones have come a long, long way. All of these phones were masterpieces in their time. The engineering behind these was amazing, but the day of the phone, as simply a phone, is gone. Teach your kids how to use them, teach them to have good time management skills, be responsible, and become strong academics. They've got these with them all the time. They are so much more powerful than just texting their friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle, very much. Pull that off the list.
Could I have the 3 evaluators?
Here, just table some. I was very interested in your speech. I have 2 grandkids that just went into kindergarten.
Oh.
And they already, one of the granddaughter goes around like this all the time. Pretend talking to pretend fun. So I can already see first grade she's going to want to come, not third. And she carries on conversations. Amazing. Yeah. Very, very innovative. Okay, now I'm asking the evaluators, I guess they've already going out of the room. The evaluators will have 5 minutes in which to prepare themselves for their speaking, for their evaluation. So, during that time, do you want to do a couple of table topics?
Sure,
Questions while we're waiting? And then we will do some others while the judges are meeting. Pilar, would you turn off the red light?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't
Thank
like the
you.
red light.
Just got a
The
new.
green's on.
My guest just came in, another guest, so
Oh,
I got a
hi,
little
everybody.
distracted.
I'm sorry, and what's your name?
Anna Cruz.
Hi, Anna. Welcome to our group.
Thank you.
All right. You want to just do 1 or 2 questions?
Yeah, I'll do 1 or 2.
Okay.
The table topics portion of our meetings, our normal meetings, today's definitely not a normal meeting. You've been a little chaotic here, is to get everybody in the room an opportunity to speak. And to speak at a moment's notice. So we will get a little bit of experience here. Yesterday being 9/11 anniversary, 10 years, I would like to ask, who can remember 10 years ago when it happened, and what were their thoughts? And how about you, Randy? Can you give us an answer to that? Now that your mouth is full.
Turn it off.
No, it's on.
No, the red light's on.